Hey, my name is Shay. I'm 20 years old. I'm a female to male transgender. I currently go to culinary school, and we live in Boston. And this is my amazing sister, Bailey.
Hello. Oh, I talk about me now. So I am Shay's sister. All intents and purposes. Blood related, obviously.
Obviously.
But I guess in reality, if we really want to get this sorted out first, I have known Shay for about
3
years.
Yeah, I would say 3.
Around there, whatever. It's been a while. It feels like I've known him for my life.
Yeah.
But I am married to his brother.
Yep.
So I guess that's how that happens. We're not in-laws. We're
blood related.
Yeah, we are. But anyway, I have lived in Boston for a while. I went to art school here, and Shay is pretty much my best friend that lives here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So you want to talk about
Wait, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 25.
Oh shit.
I know. I'm having my quarter life crisis. But yeah, it's all good. Life is great.
Yeah. Oh, and we can't forget to introduce
Oh, of course.
Lucy.
This is our puglet.
A beautiful puglet.
Little fugly puglet.
A fugly puglet.
But I'm puppy sitting, so
Yeah.
she's gonna be the star of the show as well.
So if you hear some snoring,
Yeah,
it's not
there's a lot of
us.
snoring.
Yeah.
Thank God she's tired. So, you want to talk a little bit about why we're making this video right now?
Yeah, sure. So I am about 7 weeks on T. I started March 25th, 2016. That was when I got my first shot. I decided to make a YouTube video because I wanted to document my transition. We started off taking still pictures. We went out and took some pictures, but I started recording my voice from the first day, and I started seeing some changes, and I thought a video was like the best way to look back and see all the changes at the same time. Not only can you hear my voice, you can actually see me. So, and I wanted this channel or whatever video to be for other trans people, and you know, even concerned parents or parents who wish to understand their child and what they're going through. So yeah, here we are.
Do you want to actually play the recordings? Because he played them for me this morning and it was like shocking. Like,
Yeah,
I see him
even
every
for me.
day,
Yeah.
and I didn't even notice how drastic it was.
Alright, so day 1. Today is March 25th, 2016. Today was my first day on T. And then this was like maybe a day or 2 ago. Today is May 12th, 2016. I've been on T for 48 days. Yeah, so apparently my voice has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
for
really
sure.
noticed though, which is kind of weird.
I know, but we think that the videos will kind of like be a way to preserve this moment of time and
Yeah.
be able to like look back, but also, like you said, being able to share your experience with the world and whoever is looking for kind of an outlet or resources.
Yeah. I think that would be awesome.
Yes. What made you decide to finally make the decision to go through with T? Because I know you were thinking about it for quite some time, and I think a lot of people that are potentially watching maybe haven't started yet and feel like there's something inhibiting them. Like, what made you like make the decision to make an appointment and just go for it?
I spent most of my life in Japan, and people in Japan are pretty conservative and aren't exposed to the LGBT community, so
There literally isn't a word for
Yeah.
transgender in
Like-
the language. Yeah.
you can be like diagnosed as having a gender identity disorder, but it's still considered an illness and it's not really accepted. So it was easy to pass as male. Like if I dress male, act male, and use male pronouns myself, like people
People wouldn't question
They didn't-
it.
yeah,
Gender
they didn't
was more
question it.
binary
Yeah.
there. Like, it was just kind of self-explanatory. No one really questioned it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Boston about 2 years ago to go to college. And then I realized people were more fluid with gender, and I was often misgendered because they thought, oh, dresses like a boy but isn't actually a male, you know? So when I started college, I found it really hard to pass. Like, people would look at me weird if I go to the bathroom, or it was really hard for me to actually just go to the bathroom because I was so nervous. And I became really dysphoric about my voice and how I looked and all that. And I've always wanted to start tea. Like I've told you, like I've always wanted to start tea. And
it was just a matter of when.
Yeah, it was really a matter of when.
And how, really.
Yeah. And also my mom wasn't very keen on supporting me, and because at the time, like I was financially dependent on her, it was hard for me to go forward without her approval. So I don't know, she was always accepting. She helped me legally change my name, and she helped me, you know, feel more comfortable using male pronouns, using my chosen name and all that. But she would always tell me she didn't want me to change physically. She didn't want me to get any surgery, and she kept questioning why I wasn't happy with just the way I was. And I think moving here and having a lot more control of my life and decisions, and having like an amazing support system here.
Oh shucks. I just love you for you.
I know.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I don't know. It made me realize I had to take more control of my own life, my own happiness, and live my life for myself. So I kind of told my sister I was like in a place in my life where I just couldn't imagine going forward if I didn't start transitioning. So we started, you know, sitting down, looking up therapists, making phone calls, because I was under the impression you had to get a letter of recommendation from a therapist.
Yeah, we just had no clue.
Like we were just researching, and one article that was like years old was like, oh, you have to go to the therapist, get diagnosed.
Like a mental health counselor.
Yeah, pretty much.
In a way.
So that's kind of where we started. And then I think we called someone, and they were like, oh, you do realize in Massachusetts, like, you can just go to your primary care and tell them you want to start transitioning. And I was like, the fuck? No one told me.
It's that easy,
this.
what?
Yeah. So I looked up some hospitals, and I decided to go to the Borum. I made an appointment for my next available day. I walked in and was like, hey, I'm transgender. I've been living as male for years. I vowed to most of my friends and family. Yeah, can I start tea?
Like, what happens now? Tell me what to do.
So that day, they basically took my blood and they ran some tests, and it took them a couple days to respond. But they're like, basically, you're like ready to start.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit. Okay. So we went in. I got my prescription, went to a local pharmacy, grabbed my testosterone and needle, went back, and that was my first day of having tea. Like, they were just like, yeah, just stab it in your thigh and you're ready to go. And I was like, okay. So yeah, that's kind of how I started testosterone.
What was the breaking point? Like, what made you realize, like, I need to do this right now, today?
I was in a competitive student team. It's called the American Culinary Federation, but it was for a competition, and there were 6 students that were participating out of the school, and I was devoting about 80 hours a week for school, practice, and all that. So I was pretty worn out, like mentally and physically. I was just burnt out, and then I was getting really depressed. I didn't sleep, and then it came to a point where I couldn't even take a break to drink water, and I got dehydrated.
You were like clinically dehydrated.
Yeah.
Which you're not drinking right now, which is making me nervous, so.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like a moment where I was like, I can't even focus on anything in my life. I need to just take a moment, figure my shit out, and make sure I'm healthy and, you know, happy. So Bailey sat me down and she was like, you need to take care of yourself. Like,
yeah.
What is it that you need to do? Yeah, basically I started, you know, reflecting, and I realized I was really unhappy and needed to make changes in my life. And it kind of led me to actually start taking some initiative and action and starting testosterone. So that was kind of my breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like how you felt when I told you. It was kind of like an experience we went through together. So
Yeah, for sure. It was something that was always in the back of my mind, like, okay, Shay's gonna do this eventually. It's just a matter of like getting him to make that first step. And I just wanted to be as supportive as possible without like making him feel pressure to do it. And like it was very important for me to have him feel comfortable with himself and just to start the process so that it, like the sooner it starts, the sooner it's like completed or like somewhat like on the way. I'm gonna support you no matter what you like decide to do. But I think that I am glad that we actively talk about things that are hard to talk about because that kind of like started the ball rolling. We've been talking about how like it's been a breeze, but I mean like in reality like your life is pretty hectic. But as far as like for people that are watching that are like wondering about like what are the setbacks to the drawbacks to whatever of starting and what you know so far, like what has been some kind of challenges that you faced with taking tea?
I take 0.25 milligrams every week. I don't know if it's like similar to every state, but in Massachusetts, testosterone is categorized as a C3 medication or whatever.
Like controlled substance, kind of? Yeah.
So you have like a limited amount you can purchase or get prescribed every month, and it's a tiny ass vial, but it's supposed to be like exactly worth 4 shots.
Yeah, like literally like right on the milliliter. Like there's no way that you could be like waste any amount of it and get the right dosage.
And I have to replace my needle, so there's already a tiny bit that's getting wasted every time I replace the needle. Like there's no way I can get 4 shots. Like I can barely get 3.
Yeah.
Like
1
easily,
per week for a month. Yeah.
So I talked to my pharmacist. And he was basically like, okay, I understand we've had this like concern brought to us. We can replace your vial every 3 weeks, but it's kind of a pain.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured it out quite yet because of my hectic schedule.
And it's like a logistical thing that's made it a little more challenging, but at least people have been understanding.
Yeah. So that was good. Thank you, CVS.
Yeah.
I think that was the only real issue I had. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below.
We like mostly positive feedback, of course, but we're ready. We're ready for you.
We got you. And like once again, this is like my story. This is what I went through. You might have a different experience, but hopefully it helps. You know, it helped me knowing that there are other people out there. So yeah.
And we're gonna try to do an update like every
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try every 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna make it happen.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess until then.
Yep. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Say bye, Lucy.
Oh! Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.